lost my brother myself to suicide, and so I understood, the impact that they can have on the family and everything. And so, reaching out to these two mothers and finding out their story of losing their sons and how that changed their lives and what they were doing to turn the things around.
How you doing, man?
Good. Yeah. I'm just getting over this cold, so I might sound a
Oh
little crazy
no,
there. I
caught the
know. Yeah,
bug.
yeah. It was last couple of days there, so I felt better today and yesterday. But I went to the play some ball with some guys this morning. It wore me out, man. It was like I felt it back again. I was like, my nose started running and things. I'm coughing. It
Ah,
was crazy.
jeez.
Yeah, so,
So happy to have you back on for year 2 of Anchorthon.
yes,
It's been
thanks.
fun.
Pleasure. Yeah, appreciate it.
We were talking about you a little bit earlier when Caitlin was on.
Oh, okay.
News
Awesome.
stories.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you, this is the first time interacting with you. Why don't you let them know who you are and what you're about?
Sure. I'm Stephon J. Davis. I'm a filmmaker. Do some producing, directing, also cinematography work as well. Been doing it for quite a while now, and really more ventured into the film aspect of things. Even though I started out doing a lot of video production work for some companies, and started my own company for a while doing weddings and all that kind of fun stuff. And then just had this realization that I want to tell stories. I want to impact people in an emotional way. I want to educate people, inspire them, and filmmaking seems to be the best way for me, at least, to do that.
So when did you first know you wanted to get into film? Because you said you started with like the traditional route and then decided you wanted to kind of escalate your talents and do other things with it.
Yeah, it was like between like going to school a little bit for like some film stuff, starting out initially, and like this is really cool, getting on some sets for the like student projects and things when I first started out doing the film route, and then just watching some films that really inspired me a lot. This was probably at least about 10 years ago. I just got more and more into some films. I'm just like, man, this is like powerful. Like, Daryl Aronofsky, who's like a smaller time filmmaker, but he had created this film, Working on a Dream. I still remember that to this day. And when I'm watching it, just kind of like blown away. I'm like, this is the way I want to, tell stories and have this kind of emotional impact on people. So even though I was kind of like behind the scenes doing some production work with films and stuff on sets, it was really films like that and so many others like Stanley Kubrick's films that got me to this point where I felt like I want to be able to tell my own stories and be able to impact people in that way.
Now, were you the little kid always running around with a camera trying to take pictures of stuff and get different
Uh,
angles?
a little bit, yeah. I think I was just kind of all over the place as a kid. I want to be a ninja. I just wanted to do all kinds of cool stuff. I didn't really have any particular direction at first. So even though I did start with video production at like 16, I was like really young. When like high school, they had a 2-year vocational program. I jumped into that when the opportunity came about. But like prior to that, video and things and TV production wasn't really on my radar as much until that point
Okay.
of 16. Yeah.
And then what you got going on recently? I know you just finished up a big project this last year. Well, I guess this year's not over yet.
Yeah, we're still in here, just barely a couple days into the fold here. It'll be a new year, but yeah. So that one film, the Tell the Two Mothers, the documentary, super excited about that project because it came out really well and it was a lot of fun to make and really personal to me as well. Actually, I lost my brother myself to suicide, and so I understood the impact that they can have on the family and everything. And so, reaching out to these two mothers and finding out their story of losing their sons and how that changed their lives and what they were doing to turn those things away, turn those things around, really, because a lot of times that so much pain and hurt comes from that kind of loss, losing a son. Both they were sons for both of them. They both lost sons. So really trying to figure out like what to do after that. And both moms were really successful at being able to turn that adversity into something more positive by starting foundations and going out and speaking and things. And so it really worked out really well. We had a huge premiere um, at the theater there. And so since then, it's just been phenomenal success with it and looking to get some distribution deals going with it and move on to the next project from there.
And what is the next project? Or is it still in the
Um,
wind?
so it was going to be the East Cleveland thing. I'd already talked to a couple folks and get pretty excited about it. But another one came to me that was much more in alignment with what I was trying to do next. And so I already spoke to two people about that to help produce the project. And so actually that one's going to be called The Man Cage. It's going to be dealing with healthy masculinity versus toxic masculinity.
I like it. I think that's something that definitely needs to be talked about.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Got a lot of know a lot of people, in the field and a lot of work and stuff. So I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty easy to partner up with some community organizations and things and really get the ball rolling with it. So this really works out perfectly.
And when so production like this, how long does that normally take, and what kind of budget are you guys normally looking to acquire to work with that?
With this one, I'm reaching out for some grants right now in the process of that. I want to make sure that we can get some people on the team for this project. So I haven't really thought about the actual figure I would like, maybe like 20, 30,000 or something would be sufficient, I'm sure. But I really haven't sat down to look at what it might take specifically on the budget wise. Because I know with documentaries, a lot of times it's more so me doing a lot of the work. So I'm not looking to have a full crew like with other projects. We're looking for 50 people to be on set while we're running around making a movie and things. And so it's much more free spirit, organic, flowing. If you're ready, call somebody and say we want to do an interview now. I'll go out there and shoot it. So it's not like as rigid and strenuous. So I'll just let it mostly flow and just pick up as many grants and things as possible to help the process.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm always curious about that. I always have that question over and over and over. Well, how much does it cost to make this and everything? Because I just think storytelling is so important and it's so cool. If you really think about human history, like verbal storytelling and kind of like plays was the way our history was passed down for so long. So like the art of storytelling in a way that you can share stories and do it in an impactful way.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's so important.
It definitely is. Yeah, and you're right. The budget question is pretty popular. I just had a guy reach out to me. He wants to create a short film about 15, 20 minutes in 2019. And he asked me, what kind of budget he's going to need to do it. It's just so hard to really tell somebody, like, this is what you're going to need without knowing so many more variables and things. So I told him, like, send me the script or something, synopsis. I need to know what kind of locations, how many actors. It's a lot that goes into, deciding on a budget. And then it's very flexible. You can get top-notch cameras, get top cinematography cameras and stuff, or go a little more on the DSLR type of thing. So it really just depends on what you're looking to get out of the project, what you want to invest into it, and what you hope to get out of it.
So if someone's less experienced and they're looking to get into film at some capacity, and they're, like I said, beginning stages, where is the best place to invest the money early on?
If you want to get into it, of course, you're going to need like a camera and a computer and stuff, like your basics, microphones and things. So I would say, like, if somebody's like, okay, I'm going to run around and make some movies by myself just to get the experience and learn how to do it, then yeah, I would say a camera, microphone, and a computer can get going, really. That's all it takes, all you need.
Do you have any recommendations on a good starting equipment then? Low barrier to entry?
Yeah, I had a few people ask me about that. I like the Canon series. I started out with Canon. They make some really nice DSLRs. They have like the Rebel series, which is more affordable than the traditional, like the 5D, 7Ds, 6Ds. So if you get hold of one of those for a good price, you can get you good quality video. And then really your lenses too. Make sure you get some good lenses because that makes a huge difference with your lenses.
So what type of money you plan on spending on a lens then for one of those Canon Rebels?
Sometimes the lens costs more than the camera, actually. So like a really top-notch lens is gonna be pretty pricey. But if you just need like a starter lens, you come with a kit lens a lot of times. And the kit lens is okay, but for like cinematography, like really getting those kind of nice looks, like the the bokeh they call it, like the shallow depth of field, you're gonna need a different kind of lens, like a fixed angle lens. So like maybe like a 50 millimeter, for instance. They have a huge deal on those all the time. Canon makes this like lower end version of a 50 millimeter that's a 1.8 aperture, and it does a phenomenal job. It's only like $100. It's crazy. Like, I've never seen such a good deal on a lens before. But it has some good quality. But like that lens is like amazing. So if somebody doesn't have much money, they want to do it, so they grab that lens. But if you got a few bucks to spend, there's some other lenses that can do even better job for you. 24 millimeters. There's a different 25 that's phenomenal. So many different lenses. And so really first you want to really learn about those kind of things too, though, because sometimes people just run around not knowing what they're doing. So I would say, do some research, study, learn about shutter speeds and apertures and all that kind of stuff. So you can kind of have a good grasp on what you're trying to accomplish.
Gotcha. So, if anybody could hand you your dream budget and money wasn't an option, what is the first project you'd want to work on?
Any budget. It's funny. I've been trying to get like a comedy done for a while there. I don't really do comedies. I've never really wrote my things, but I started working on one. Kind of just writing a narrative script for a comedy, and wanted to kind of make it a little different than traditional like comedy or drama and all those kind of things. So I think I might try to tackle something like that. One of those like coming of age. You have some drama and some comedy in there. Kind of cool, kind of fun. I like to do something like that.
It's interesting. I wasn't expecting you to go that route.
I know, right? So, but like you say, dream budget is like something that's like totally different. It would be that for sure. Now I do have like another documentary that I'm looking at, which is about PTSD, which I would like to have a nice little budget on that, travel around the world a little bit, interview some folks.
Yeah.
So that would probably take a good chunk of money too. But as far as like just a dream scenario, like this is something different, wild, crazy, do something like that.
Now, I would assume too that like when it's time for you to really work on a film project and be on set and stuff, probably take quite a bit of time. How do you think about like family work balance, or is it just kind of understood in your household when it's time to be on set, it's time to be on set, and just the
Uh,
way life is?
yeah, to an extent, yeah. I still have the wife kind of fussing a little bit, unfortunately, but yeah, she gets it for the most part. Because it's not all the time. There are breaks in between, but when you have that focus on something, trying to get it done, you just gotta buckle down and do it, though. So for me, it's kind of one of those things where the balance comes into place because it's not always consistent, like all day, every day for the whole year, every year, forever. Working on a project, there is some downtime involved. So like when we were doing the last movie with the documentary, towards the end, got the premiere things going. She was kind of run out of steam trying to be supportive and stuff. And I'm like, well, we almost done with the finish line here. Just hold on. Just keep it easy there. We almost done. After I get this done, I'm going to have some downtime while I try to, figure out this next film and stuff. So, just hang in there. Yeah.
And how do you balance like your other personal ambitions? Because I know you and I used to talk a lot about working out and stuff, and then also trying to not completely exclude your family when you're working on a project. Like, how do you kind of let the gym go to the wayside? Do you reduce your workout schedule, or how do you kind of manage that?
I try to stay pretty consistent with the workout because I feel like, that physical part kind of plays into like the mental and emotional. Like it all is really encompassing. So I don't really want to try to downplay one or the other if I don't have to. Sometimes you have no choice. Matter of fact, when I was sick these last couple of days, I missed the gym quite a bit. But if I can get in there, though, I'll try to get in there. And what I do typically is I get up pretty early in the morning, and then that way I can still get to the gym no matter what. So for me, my routine is like to get up really early, do some few things with meditation and stuff, and then go to the gym, get all that stuff knocked out. So then that way, whether I'm working on a project or not, that time is set aside already, and then I can focus on what I need to do after that point.
All right. Do you go to bed pretty early then?
I try to, but not always, though. Yeah, like I went to bed at like midnight yesterday, but I try to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always curious because a lot of people I know that get up early, they're like, "Oh yeah, well I go to bed at 9." I'm like, I don't think that's an option for me.
Yeah, I
That's a
try
little.
to. Yeah, like 10 or so around there. I try to, but some nights it's a little later than others, though. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I look forward to seeing how the masculinity documentary end up playing out.
Yeah,
Because, like I
thank
said,
you.
I think that's a pretty important topic. So keep me in the loop.
Okay,
And
yeah,
where can everybody find you on the internet? I know you're not feeling well, so I want you to get back to resting.
not no problem. I'm on. You can check out serlomedia.com, the website. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Stephon J. Davis. Pretty much look me up like that, and you'll find me. Instagram is Shoot at You Actors. You can
Okay.
catch me on there.
All right. Well, like always, I'll have all the links in the description and show notes when this gets chopped up and isn't the big 24-hour live stream. So it'll be super easy for everybody to find you.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's an excellent question about family life, work balance and things. Everybody's always trying to figure out how to juggle those things and stuff. And so, excellent question because I think we're all still trying to figure out how to make that all work for us and things.
Yeah, that should be a documentary on itself, work-life balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would watch it.
Definitely. Me too.
All right, man. Well, get some rest, and I appreciate you being back on.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for having me.